Thank you, Chairman. And I feel it's, I have to put this down, otherwise they will interrupt me. Actually, I really appreciate the chance to come into here, and I'd like to thank Carlo, the president of the company, to give me this opportunity to come. Actually, when I see this topic, the different model of the capitalism, I feel it's very interesting because actually inside China, we haven't got a chance to discuss that. Okay, yeah. And the basic plan that I've already gone through, I feel is even more interesting because within that plan, they try to link the different model of the capitalist with the country comparative advantages. And furthermore, and they even link the different model of the capitalist with the family business, I guess the capability of the family business. So I think it is really a very good chance to come because it's a chance to appreciate, first of all, to understand the developed world, or you call it the world of the capitalism. And it's a chance to appreciate the achievement of the capitalism, because we do not actually, after so many years reform, we didn't actually discuss this type of issue. But it doesn't mean that China is totally irrelevant to this type of discussion. So I want to think about the things here and try to link what happened inside China. That's why I actually feel comfortable to accept this invitation to come. And then just now, after listening to all these fantastic speakers, and I find that, quite frankly, I'm totally outsider. Yeah, this is not a type of topic that China discusses. So I'm thinking just now while I'm listening, whether I should respond immediately towards the question that every previous speaker touched, or I could give some of the background of how China is, okay? How China linked to this type of topic, which is better. Right now, I feel the later one might be better. Otherwise, it's just like I do not really understand the world here, and I believe most of the people here might not understand China better. So it might be good to give some kind of background thinking here, okay? So I thought to start with a little bit about the different model, how I recognize the different model of the capitalism, and how I get China involved into this type of discussion. And then I try to link the question, I guess the chairman raised, like the country's competitiveness, state-owned company, and maybe some of the family business. I will try to do that for you, okay? Actually, first of all, I actually am not first exposed to this type of a topic. I've seen the different model of the capitalism, which is not totally, actually it's a lot different from the original concept of the capitalism as Marxist described in his famous book. So I've already seen there's a big achievement of the capitalist country after so many years, even though the capitalist concept already there, and different country actually try very hard to see how to develop your own model of the capitalism. And today you end up with different model of capitalism, which actually agree very much about the very beginning remark from the chairman and from the previous, I cannot name him, okay, the speaker. And I find that the capitalism is also different. And then there are good reasons for different models actually exist. And those are the basic reason for different kind of capitalism there is actually different country have different kind of economic and social conditions. And then in order to try to gain the economic efficiency on one hand, and the social fairness and the justice, and every country try very hard to work on how to let the market to play the role, at the same time, how we use government as another instrument to control to some extent of this economy. I'm sorry, I have to bring every one of you to bring a little bit away from your business itself to come to a country level governance, okay? So I feel when I see this different kind of model of capitalism, it seems to me that you are also sort of struggling or try to figure out what is the better mix between the market, the role of the market, and the role of the government. And you end up with different kind of model, like the US model on one end, and you might call it, I do not have the really right word, but I know the certain type of arrangement in the North Europe, right? So you have different type of capitalism going on, where you have different kind of role of the market and the government role. I think I do not see which is better than the other. There are good reasons for this model existing in the developed world. I think that's where that I can bring China in. Even though China, we did not have been talking about the capitalism for all these years. We basically still use the concept of socialist. That's the goal of the Communist Party. I'm not part of it, but I understand. From the very beginning, they're chasing for the goal of the socialism, which is basically everyone is equal. And we were equal before the reform, but everyone were equally poor. We cannot sustain. And then I make the Communist Party to think how to, not only have the beautiful human dream, but also make it sustainable. And then we understand that we really need to develop economy until our economy grows to a certain level that we can support this human idea to go further. So that's how we start to have the reform. And the basic nature of this type of reform is to introduce the mechanism of market. So we call the society right now inside China is socialist market-oriented economy, okay? But to me, it doesn't really matter what kind of term is. The type of market economy is basically what you called capitalism, okay? So for all these years reform, from purely planned economy, government control everything, and then we do the reform of state-owned company, all kind of reform until now. We're exactly chasing the similar goal as what you are here. We're trying to see what is the right mix between the market and the government role, okay? And for the new generation, when they come up and they think about this type of the problem, and they decide right now to let the market to play the main role. So we're even further pushing the reform going ahead like that. So put the long story short, actually, I think on the macro level, all the world is going to the same direction. Compared with the very before, we have the capitalism on one end, we have the socialism on the other end, and those are the ideal type of human dream, okay? And right now, in terms of running different countries on a macro level, we are actually shrinking the gap. And the capitalism country, they're searching more way, let the government play more role. See, after the financial crisis, a lot of countries think about that. Even U.S., the government start to play a much more role, right? Europe also have a lot of discussion. And on the other side, China, we actually try very hard to realize market economy. But right now, we're still not there. We're not going purely to the market direction. But compare with what we have right now, we feel if we want to improve the economic efficiency, we still need more market and reduce the interruption of the government. That is what we're doing right now. That is the direction that the new generation of government is doing. So that's the basic background. I feel very comfortable saying that, and the world is not really apart. And we're getting together, we're searching for the similar goal as country level, okay? Having said that, and then we could come from there to the firm level, okay? So you understand, China start from planned economy. Every company is state-owned, okay? And then we're equal, but not so many motivation there. And then we start to do this type of reform. Right now, the fact is that after so many run of the state-owned company reform, there's only in the strategic sector like the oil sector, where China is the country really limited. Limited the resources. Only in those type of very important strategic sector, we remain big state-owned company. We have all type of private company going on in China. So that's actually much more like yours. But our private company is very, very new. We are not getting to the stage as all of us discussing here. The type of the private sector company we learn from U.S. So the model so far is still U.S. type. It's more profit-oriented, not a shareholder, and it's actually shareholder-oriented, but not the stakeholder-oriented. It is a problem, but we are improving. We're young, we still have the room to improve. State-owned company, they have their own role to play. But right now, the leader of generation, they try to invite private sector to get into the state-owned company so that you can have the power of the state-owned company. They have their own advantages that do not have enough time to take. But at the same time, they also want to introduce the market mechanism, the private sector, into the company themselves so that it can make more efficient operation of the company. So that is the things right now. My personal research is actually the Chinese company going abroad. And if you have any kind of question about that, I could continue to answer the question more precisely. I hope my talking can help you understand China a bit better. Thank you very much.